course the YouTube actually will save this one for me, but then I just make one more copy for myself. Alright, so let's have a look on this paper here. Alright, so yeah, so first thing is you will see some formula over here, and I guess this formula you should know how to use it. You have a quadratic formula, you have a binomial formula, and the NCR over here, this formula normally, this formula normally you will use it only on the binomial topic. If you want to find m, you will use this formula if you want to find n. Alright, normally you're not using it. And trigo, you have three trigo formula, and this one for area, for length, cosine rule and sine rule, nothing very special here. Alright. Yeah, first thing I want to hope all of you can hear me. Some actually say couldn't hear me. Let me adjust the volume for a little bit. Hello, my testing should be okay, right? I maximized my volume already. I hope you can hear me. Right, so yeah, if you still cannot hear me, maybe you can like volume up. Alright, so question number 1, a band can play 25 different pieces of music. From this piece of music, 8 are selected for a concert. So find a number of different ways this can be done. So this one is quite obvious. You have 25 music over here. You need to select 8 of it. So basically 25 music, you need to select 8 of it. So just 25 C8. And then you should be able to get the answer easily by type this one into your calculator. Alright, nothing very special because you select them first because you haven't started to do any arranging here, so we do not need to use the P yet. Alright, so the 8 pieces of the music are then arranged in order. Whenever you see arranged in order, you know you have to use MPR. So find a number of different arrangement possible. So if I were to arrange 8 different songs here, I can either do 8 factorial or I can do 8 songs. I arrange all the 8 songs, and both should give you the same result. So you can use either one of it. So you will get 40320. So it should be quite easy. So the band have 50 members. 3 are children and random to be treasurer, secretary, and agent. Find the number of ways this can be done. Basically, I have 18 members. I want to choose any 3 of them to arrange for either treasurer, agent, and secretary. Yeah, I guess this is my answer, 15P3. So you will get the answer. Okay, just in case some student might not understand, how come you can just do 15P3 and then you can choose all of them, and you prefer you do it separately? Actually, you can do other method, but because just 1 mark, so I will straight away do. But if you want to do other methods, so I will actually show you. So let's say I can do something like this. I have 15 members. I will choose 3 of them. So after I choose 3 of them, among the 3 of them, I will choose 1 for the treasurer, and then I left 2, isn't it? I will choose another 2, 1 for secretary, and then the last one is for agent. And then you still should be getting the same result over here if you want to do it separately. But normally I will just like do all together. Alright, so yep, I hope you guys can understand here. It's quite straightforward. So variable x and y are related to this equation. Show dy dx. So basically you have u and v over here. You should know this one is the quotient rule. Just in case some students do not know about quotient rule, the formula is v du minus u dv over v squared. Right, so basically what I'm doing here is I apply the quotient rule here. So v is xe Oh my god. This one is harder than I think because the bottom and no. Oh, which is correct, which is correct. Okay, this is EX. Yeah, because I thought we need to differentiate dy dx. No, we just need to differentiate y, so it's not that bad. So copy the v, differentiate the u, so it's 1 over x. Differentiate ln x, you will get 1 over x, alright? So minus, copy the u, differentiate the ex, you get back the ex over v squared, so it's e2x. Or you prefer to write ex squared, you can do that. Alright, so basically, yeah, I can simplify this one because I try to get something like this. So first thing is I try to take out the ex here. So if I factorize out the ex, so what I'm getting here is 1 over x minus ln x over ex. Ex squared or e2x, it doesn't matter. Right, then what I will do next is ex and ex I will simplify. And on the top here, I will just kind of rearrange them. So I will say this one should be the, this is over 1, isn't it? So what I do here is I will make them the same denominator. So I will multiply x here, I multiply x here. So therefore, I should get 1 minus ln x over ex. And then you should know both divide, this one should multiply at the bottom, right? Sorry, this one should be x ln x. So therefore, my one last step over x ex. So this is how we do it. So basically, what I'm doing here is I make them have the same denominator and then I join them together. So therefore, I get the result over here. So, yep. So you should be able to understand. Yeah, I hope I'm not blocking the question here. Yeah, if some of you using mobile phone here, maybe, yeah, you need to, let me see whether I can zoom in a little bit or not, because some students just say cannot view it so nice. Let me try 250%. Okay. So, yeah, I hope it's helped a little bit. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Yeah, I do not need any coffee for right now. Alright, so find the approximate change in y when x is decreased from 2 to 2 plus h over here. So over here, when you see approximate change, what you need to think is this is small change. So small change, we will basically use a small change formula. So which is the change of y over change of x equals to dy dx. Alright, so they ask us to find the approximate change in y. That means they ask us to find the change of y. So in order to find this one, I know it's equals to dy dx multiply change of x. Change of x we already have. We can use the new x value minus the old x values. Then I will get h over here. And then I have the dy dx above here. This is my dy dx, isn't it? So what I want to do is I will need to sub my original x value into my dy dx. So if I sub my x equals to 2 into there, so you can see this is what happens. So I should get 1 minus 2 ln 2 over 2e2 multiply with h. Yeah, you prefer to live in the decimal, yeah, you can do that. So you can use a calculator. 1 minus 2 ln 2 over 2e power of 2. So you kind of will get a decimal here, negative 0.0261h. Alright, so yeah, it's quite straightforward. Basically, you need to know this one is a small change, and then just sub the 2 into it. It should be good. Alright, so let me move on to the next one. Alright, so over here, alright, so the function f is defined. The function f is basically defined for 0 to 360. And then fx is equals to a plus b sine cx, where a, b, c are the constant, with b is bigger than 0, c is bigger than 0. Alright, so the graph will meet the y-axis at the point 0, -1, and have a period as 120 and an amplitude of 5. So yeah, quite straightforward. We have the amplitude of 5, so you know amplitude is the position of the b here, because a lot of students will just remember amplitude is a, but you need to actually see the equation carefully. In this case, it is not a, so therefore I know my b equals to 5, quite straightforward. And period, we can always use help us to find the c over here, because I say sine and cos, sine and cos of cx will always equal to 360. So I will say Cx equals to 360, because this is a fixed already. Sin x, the one cycle is 360. The period is 120. So what you need to do is you need to sub the 120 into the x here. So C 120, I sub into the x here, equals to 360. So C will equals to divide 120, so you get 3. So after I get my b and c, I can find my a easily by using the coordinate. So I rewrite the equation one more time. So ex, so you prefer y, I can write the y. Y equals to a phi sine 3x. a plus phi sine 3x. Alright, so I want to find a, so I will sub these coordinates over here. Y is -1 and x will be 0. So sine 0 is equal to 0, so a equals to -1. So therefore I should have the equation here is phi sine 3x minus 1. Alright, so this is all my ABC. I already found my ABC. Of course, you can write your ABC over here, which is -1, which is 5, and 3. And then the next thing I will need to do is basically I need to sketch the equation. So in order to sketch this equation, I will focus on the -1 first. That means it's somewhere here. -1. So I draw a dotted line for it. If you have a ruler, you should have the nicer dotted line. This one is just draw freehand. You shouldn't do freehand here. And then the amplitude is 5. That means from the -1 here, I need to plus 5 unit here. So I will get 4 here. And then I will minus 5 unit here. Then I'll get -6. So therefore I will draw over here. And 3x tell me what? I should have the 3 cycle. I should have a 3 cycle in 360. And then the period is 120, right? So that means each of my cycle is 120. So therefore, I should plot my coordinate here to make the thing look easier to draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is my 1 cycle. 2 cycle over here. And then 3 cycle over here. Alright, then I will just draw it. Yeah, if in the paper I should be able to draw nicely, but because I draw on the screen here, so it's not as easy as you think. Yep. Please allow me to have an ugly graph here. Yeah, this one is look kind of bad. I try my best to make my drawing look very nice. So I hope at least you get the idea how to draw 3 cycle of it. Yep. So this one basically is my graph. So yeah, let me see. Do you have any question here? Yeah. According to the marking scheme, this is what I see before. They say actually if the graph is not that smooth, they might -1 mark, but as long as you look okay, they shouldn't minus your mark unless your graph is like super ugly. So yeah, you might lose mark for it. Alright, so let me move on to the next one. Alright, find the value of x for this one. So you should know this is quadratic inequality. So what you need to do over here is you basically need to expand the equation. After you expand the equation, and then you solve it. Alright, so this one should be 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. After I expand it, 3x plus 4. Then I move everything to one side, minus 3x, I got plus x, minus 3 less or equals to 0. Then I will factorize it. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, feel a bit cold today. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Let me just finish this one. So we should have 3 and 1 here. So this one should be positive and negative. So therefore, over here you should get 2 different x value, 3/4, and add on x equals to -1. And then you should know less than 0, the value should between here, if this is 0. So therefore your value should between -1 and 3/4. So therefore my x should between -1 and 3/4. Alright, so I hope you can understand this. Yeah, this live streaming later will upload to the YouTube as usual. So you don't need to worry if you like, because different country might have a different time. Yeah, if in your country right now it's quite late, so yeah, you feel free to go to sleep first. Right, so show that whatever's value of k, this equation have no real root. So what happens over here is, if the question say have no real root, that means you need to show basically b squared minus 4ac will be less than 0. But in order to show it, you shouldn't straight away write less than 0 on it, because if you already write less than 0, there's nothing for you to show. So in order to show, I will just assume I do not know is less than 0. So I will just do b. So just in case some students do not know a, b, c, I will just rearrange my equation. This is 1/4x squared plus kx plus k squared plus 1 equals 0. So this is my a, this is my b, this is my c. So b squared minus 4ac. So this one equal to k squared minus k squared minus 1 is equal to -1 less than 0. Then I will say shown. Yeah, because if b squared minus, therefore if you want to write more, you can say b squared minus 4ac is less than 0. Show that it has no real root. If you want to write some definition here, but normally I will stop in this step. Right, so I hope you can understand that. Yeah, you don't need the hashtag, alright? So yeah, the hashtag shouldn't bother you. You don't need to write shown, but I just used to write shown, so easier for examiner to mark my paper. If I go for an exam, definitely I'm not. Right, so alright, so you have the you have ABCD here, such as CD is perpendicular to AB. So, and then find the equation perpendicular bisector to CD. So this information actually can help me to find my k value here, because since they are perpendicular, at least I know gradient of CD multiply gradient of AB, I should get -1. This is what happens when you see perpendicular. Alright, so in order to get the gradient of CD, I will use a gradient formula, just 3 minus -3 over k minus 2. And then multiply AB, I use a AB formula, 2 minus -4 over 3 minus 7 equals to -1. By solving this one, I should be able to get my k quite easily. 6 over k minus 2 multiply with 6 over -4 equals to -1. Alright, so I got 36. Alright, so 36 over -4 times k minus 2. I do not want to multiply here because I want to leave it become -9. Then I sort over, so 9 equals to k minus 2, k equals to 11. So it's quite straightforward. So this is how we actually get our k value here. So after I got my k value, so I always like to substitute back into the coordinate d here. Alright, and then I have the c over here. So because the question asked me to find the equation perpendicular bisector, you just remember whenever you see perpendicular bisector, basically you need to find two things. First, you need to find your midpoint. Second, you need to find your second gradient. Alright, so what I will do is I should have my gradient of CD here. Yeah, so if we write my gradient of CD should be 6 over 11 minus 2. Should be 6 over 9, so it's 2 over 3. So my perpendicular gradient should be negative 3 over 2. Alright, then the next thing I will find is I will need to find the midpoint. So I will find the midpoint of CD. So it's basically x plus x over 2 and then y plus y over 2. Alright, so I will just solve like normal. So this is 13 over 2, this is 0. Then I can form the equation easily by using my m2 and my coordinates. Alright, so y minus 0 equals to negative 3 over 2, x minus 13 over 2. So y basically equals to negative 2x. And then, okay, plus 39 over 4. Yeah, I hope I didn't make any carrier mistake here. CD, right? Yeah, it should be correct. So you just solve it and then you should be able to get the things easily. So do we need to know some methods in coordinate? Yeah, basically you need to, the shoelace thing, yeah, is for us to find the area. Do you have any video about rate of change? Yeah, you go to check out my differentiation video. I should have the rate of change video. Alright, so let's move on to number 6 here. So yeah, in my time, my MF, I think I get B plus. Yeah, so yeah, in my time we call it B3. Yeah, I didn't get A. But at my school time, Form 5, that time actually we form a study group and then I start to teach my friend, I studied SPM, I started to teach my friend. Yeah, few of my friends I able to teach them from like C to A. Yeah, so all of my friends in my study group get A for MF. I'm the one teaching them, but I got B. Yeah, because what? Because I asked them to do a lot of practice and I'm the only ones do not practice because I stand there and I see them doing all the exercise. I will make sure they do correctly, but then I didn't do it myself at all. So when the exam comes out a similar question, yeah, because in my time our MS is kind of not enough time to finish. So yeah, I have few questions actually I not enough time to do because I didn't practice. So what the moral of the story here is, in order to get A in MF, make sure you do a lot of practice. Yeah, I can teach very well, but I didn't practice myself, so end up I didn't do well. But I believe if I go to exam now, I definitely get A. Yeah, there's no way I can get B, alright? Okay, yeah, we're a bit off the topic, so let's use the times wisely. We go to number 6 here. Alright, so the relationship between the experimented values of two variables, x and y, is given by y equals to ab power of x, where a and b are constant. Transform the relationships y equals to ab power of x into a straight line form. So what we do here is we need to change this one into the y equals to mx plus c. So normally I will try to get some hints from the bottom part here. At least I know my y should be ln y, my m should be anything else, my x should be just x plus c. So I will need to make my equation into this pattern. So first hints I get here is the ln. So I will add the ln for here. So I will get ln y equals to ln ab power of x. So the log rule actually tells us what? Log rule actually tells us multiply, we can expand them, become plus. Alright, then the power x we can move to the front, but because I want mx like this one actually will give me x ln b, but I will like swap among them to become ln bx. Because it's the same, because you imagine a multiply b and b multiply a, basically both of these are the same thing. So plus ln a. So this is so-called the straight line form. So I already did. So from here, find the equation of the line of best fit and the values of correct to the 1 decimal. So basically I need to know the equation. So from here I will need to find my m and c over here. So first thing is from here I know my c basically, my c is basically equal to 2.2. This is my c, right? Ln a. So I say my ln a equals to 2.2. So if you want to find a, so I will say is e 2.2. Alright, then I will need to find the ln b. Ln b basically equals to my gradient, right? So my gradient over here, I will need 2 coordinates here. So I will take any 2 coordinate touch on the line here. I prefer nice value. I will take this one. And I will need to pick one more nicer one. Maybe I take this one. Alright, so I take this one. This one is 0, 2.2. And then this one is 2.5. So therefore I will say 5 minus 2.2 over 2 minus 0. So this is how I get the gradient. So I will get 3.2 divided by 2, 1.6 equals to ln b. So b is equals to e power of 1.6. So the question asked me to leave in 1 decimal. So definitely I shouldn't leave in the e form. I have to like type in the calculator and leave in the 1 decimal form. So e 1.6 should give me, alright, 5.0. Yeah, I get 4.95. And then this one e 2.2 actually will give me 9.0. Okay, so but I want to write out the equation, so I will say is ln y equals to my gradient is 1.6, right? 1.6x plus 2.2. Right, I guess this is the thing. Yeah, because the question doesn't yeah, they asked me just to find a value for a and b, right? So therefore my a is 9.0, my b is 5.0. Alright, it should be quite easy. Alright, so let's move on to the next one. Find a value correct to 1 decimal. They want 1 significant figures, not 1 decimal. So it's just this thing. Oops. Yeah, so it's just like this. They want 1 significant figures. Yeah, it's not 1 decimal place, so don't confuse yourself. It's not the same. So find a value correct to 1 significant figures when y when x equals 2.7. So therefore, alright, so if like this, I will rewrite my equation. My gradient is 2.2, so basically I will write it as 2x. And then my gradient is 1.6, so it's 2x plus 2. It's kind of weird. Find the equation of the line best fits. Alright, so then the next thing is they want to find y when x equals to 2.7, so ln y equals to 2.7 plus 2. So this is 5.4, you have 6.4 ln y. So y equals to e 6.4. So yeah, type in the calculator 6.4. So yeah, I will get 600 for y. I hope it is correct, even though it looks a little bit weird here. Yeah, but it should be correct here. So of course I have the marking scheme with me here, so I just kind of quickly check the marking scheme to make sure I did everything well. B over here, they get 4. This 9 is correct, but this one, how come they get 4? So let me see. They get 1.4 for gradient, I get 1.6. And then 2 minus 0. Yeah, it's 1.4. Yeah, I bet I'm so bad for my calculation. So this is 1.4. So therefore my b is 4. Alright, so this is 4 here. So 1.4, then my gradient here is 1. Alright, so if this is 2.7, so this is 1, so I will have some, yeah, so I should have some different value here. So let me see. This is 5 minus 2.2 divided by 2, so it's 1.4. So the gradients, I think here should write 1.4 and 2.2. Find the equation of best fits. Correct the one significant of A and B. They only want the one significant for A and B. So here we should leave in one decimal. They want one significant figure for A and B only. Yeah, it's 2.7 plus 2.2. Yeah, I guess this is the right one. Yeah, so it's almost 6, so it's e power of 6 here. So e6 here, you should round off to 400. Alright, so yeah, sorry for the confusing here. So yep. Number 7. Given that the y equals to this thing, show that dy dx is that thing. So basically this is the product rule. So u and v. Yeah, the product rule formula is u differentiate v, plus v differentiate u. Alright, so u is basically x. In order to differentiate v, you should know v basically equals to x squared plus 1 power half. So if I differentiate v, I will actually get half x squared plus 1 minus half, because minus 1, and then multiply 2x because I differentiate x squared. Then 2 and 2 I simplify, I should get x over square root x squared plus 1. Alright, this is what happens when you differentiate v. So I will just straight away write the things I want. Plus v, which is square root x squared plus 1. Then differentiate u, I get 1. So I kind of want to get something like this, so I will just rearrange them. So if you see carefully, you should know they have the different denominator. So over here, I will kind of need to multiply this one to make them have the same denominator here. So if I multiply them, I should have the square root x squared plus 1. And then x times x is x squared. Square root times square root become power 1. So this is x squared plus 1. So therefore, I have 2x squared plus 1 over x squared plus 1 power half. This is exactly what the question wants. So yeah, I'm done here. So basically, you need to know how to simplify the square root. Alright, so explain why this graph have no stationary. So since this is dy dx, so when dy dx is equals to 0, and so therefore we know 2x squared plus 1 over x plus 1 power half equals 0. But power half, we can move the whole thing bottom, we can move to the other side. It still equals to 0. And therefore 2x squared plus 1 must always bigger than 0, because 2x squared plus 1, no matter what x value you sub into it, there's no way you get 0. You can try to sub any value into x, you definitely get bigger than 0. And actually, you should always get bigger than 1. So therefore, you can say 2x squared plus 1 must be always positive, or cannot equal 0. So therefore, it is not possible. Therefore, explain why the graph has no stationary point. Therefore, since dy dx cannot, you can say something like this. Since dy dx cannot equal to 0, therefore you have no stationary point. Has no stationary point. Alright, so yeah, this is how I will explain. So basically what I'm doing here is I make the dy dx equal to 0 because we know stationary point, we will need to make the dy dx equal to 0. So when dy dx equal to 0, we have the dy dx above here. So I copy the whole thing equal to 0, and then the denominator I will just move to the other side, multiply 0, you will get 0. So after that, if I move my x squared plus 1 power half to the other side, I get 0. Then I left the 2x squared plus 1 equal to 0. For 2x squared plus 1, so if you try to solve this one, you know it's math error, you will get something like square root negative 1 over 2. Square root cannot be negative, right? But the easiest way to think of it is 2x squared plus 1 must always be bigger than 0. There's no way you can make the 2x squared plus 1 less than 0 or equals to 0. Or there's no way you can make the 2x squared plus 1 even less than 1, because the value must be always bigger than 1. So therefore, it's not possible. So therefore, the dy dx is not possible to get 0. But I guess any valid reason should be okay. Or you prefer to do something like this, square root negative 1 over 2, then you write here undefined. So since it is undefined, so therefore there have no stationary point. Yeah, you can always do the whatever methods you want. Yeah, so the 2x squared plus 1 cannot equal 0 for all the value of x. Normally we do not say math error in this case. So yeah, so we can always say 2x squared plus 1 cannot equal to 0. Yeah, I guess it's the easiest way. So since 2x squared plus 1 cannot equal to 0, so therefore dy dx doesn't exist. So I mean that dy dx equals to 0 doesn't exist. So therefore there's no stationary point. If dy dx cannot equal to 0, therefore there's no stationary point. Right? Yeah, so therefore I say this kind of question is considered quite hard here, because a lot of explaining part here. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. So as long as your explanation makes sense, you should be easily get the value here. I mean, should be easily get the mark here. Alright. Number 8 here. Relative to the origin. So the position vectors, so okay, so this is I and j, so I prefer write the OA equals to 2 and 12, and my OB equals to 6 and negative 4. Yeah, I prefer write in the column vector, but if you want to write in the I and j, should be okay. So write down the simplified for this one. So AB is quite straightforward, equals to AO plus OB, right? AO should be negative 2 and negative 12, add a negative for it, plus OB will be 6 and negative 4. So therefore, my final one should be 4 and negative 16. Alright, if you prefer I and j, you just write 4i minus 16j. Alright, so okay, C is lies on AB. So imagine we have a AB here. Okay, A is 4 negative 12. So it looks like this. Alright, so this is AB. So C is lies on AB. So I assume C is somewhere here. The ratio is 1 and 3. Find the unit vector of it for OC. So therefore, I know OC is basically equals to OA plus AC. I have the OA is 212, and I can find AC here. You can see AC basically is take 1 out of 4 of AB, right? So equals to 1 over 4 of AB. AB is 4 negative 16. So yeah, you should know this thing. So this is, so I will just plus them. This is 2 plus 1, which is 3. This is 12 plus negative 4, which is 8. Alright, so this is OC, but they ask about unit vector. So what we need to do is we need to find the length of OC, which is the magnitude. So it's square root of 3 squared plus 8 squared. So it's 9 plus 64, 73. Square root 73. So therefore, unit vector of OC is equals to 3i plus 8j over square root 73. Alright, so if you prefer write nicely, you can separate them. You can separate them like 73i plus 8 over square root 73j. Okay, so yeah, all this should be quite simple. If you're not sure what is unit vector of A is vector A over length of A. Alright, so this is how we get a unit vector. You can write in the column vector, because the column vector is actually if as long as you have I and j, you can write in the column vector. I don't think they will minus mark for column vector. If you doesn't write in the column vector, make sure you write I and j there. Alright, so yeah, if I write this one in the column vector, I will just write 1 over square root 73 and 3, 8 here. Yeah, I can write like this. This one is the correct one. They're impossible, they will minus mark for this thing. Alright, then D lies on OA. What is my OA? My OA is 2 and 12 here. So 2, 12 is roughly like this. This is OA. So D lies on E sub that, okay, I do not know about lambda, so I assume D is somewhere here. So the ratio is 1 and lambda. OD is 1, DA is lambda. Alright, so going this direction. Alright, so find an expression for AD. Right, so first thing, AD is opposite direction. So it's opposite direction, definitely I will add a negative for it. And then AD is lambda over the total. I do not know what is lambda, so I will just write lambda. Total should be 1 plus lambda. Alright, of OA. So OA is 212. Is it 212? Yeah, it's 212 there. Yeah, I guess this is my answer. If you don't like about 212, you can just write 2i plus 12j. Yep, this one should be the answer because there's no way we can simplify. They ask you to live in this term, so I guess you do need to further simplify it. Right, so far any question before I move on to the next one? Let me drink a water. Okay, the first thing, the lambda actually is given. Okay, we have a OA because they say D lies on OA, right? This is OA. D might be somewhere here. I do not know. D can be here also. We do not know where is D, so I just assume any point can be D. And then they say OD is 1. So O to D is 1. And DA is lambda. DA is lambda based on the ratio given here. So if today the question asks about DA, then it should be quite easy because DA actually follow the OA direction. But the question asks about AD is basically opposite direction of OA. So it's something like AO. So because of opposite direction, you see I add a negative here for opposite direction. Opposite direction, I add a negative. And then the next thing I will do is, okay, for AD, this part actually take a lambda, right? Lambda out of total. So if lambda is 2, then it will be 2 over 3. So we do not know what is the value of lambda. So I just say lambda over the total. Total is 1 plus lambda. So if you think the lambda will make you like very so confused, yeah, I can just assume lambda. Let's say this is let's say this is 1. Let's say the lambda over here is 3. Then we will write the AD, we will write 3 over 4, isn't it? Of AO. Isn't it? If I want to write if I want to use the AO, so I will say 3 over 4. How do I get the 4 here? 4 basically I take 3 plus 1, isn't it? So the logic is still the same. So because the AD over here is lambda and AO will be lambda plus 1. So I will say lambda over lambda plus 1. So this is the easiest way of understanding it. If you still cannot understand, you should go back to revise the vector topics. Alright, so yeah, good. Yeah, negative because it's opposite direction. Because I'm using this vector here is OA. You can see OA and AD actually they go opposite direction. So this is the reason why, yeah, it has a negative. Alright, I hope I can finish soon. So let's go back to number 9. Alright, this one is a bit hard as well for the explaining part, and they give it up to 2 marks. Normally explaining part is 1 mark. Yeah, I just hate it when you have 2 marks here. So first thing is, you have to understand the equation will help you to explain this one. So explain why g is a function but does not have an inverse. So basically you should know the pattern of this graph should look like this, and then the minimum point is 5. Yeah, so I can say because because all the x value will go into a unit y value, which is what we so-called many to one. So this is because this is a function. So you can use any words you think is makes sense. I can say all x value go to one y value, or one unit y value, or one y value only. Therefore, this is function. Therefore, g is a function. Because when we call it function, right, that means you can have a loss of x value, but you can only have one y value. If you have more than one y value over here, then it is not a function. So I give you some idea about function. So if you have something like this, so you can see I can have, let's say this one, y equals to 0. Y equals to 0, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can have 6 x value all go to one y value, which is y equals to 0. And then I will have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, and x6. So all the x value go into one y value is still considered a function. But however, if you have the graph like this, you can see one x value, let's say x equals to 2. You have two different y value, right? This one is not considered as a function because you have more than one y value. Okay, so therefore this is what I'm saying. All the x value will go to only one y value. So therefore the g is a function, and however it has no inverse. It has no inverse because it is many to one function. Because we know inverse only happens when is one to one. Like many to one function cannot have the inverse. So therefore I guess this is how you get 1 mark and second mark over here. So first mark you have to explain why it is function, and the second mark you have to explain why it have no inverse. I will not explain about one to one and many to one again. You go to check out my function video because it has so many things for me to explain here. I have a function video in my YouTube channel. You can just type and get it quickly. Alright, so okay, find G2 and state its domain. So G2 basically substitute Gx into the Gx here. So it has 6x4 plus 5 power 4 plus 5. Alright, just like this, quite simple. And the domain should same with the Gx domain. So I can say, for all real value x. Or you prefer write the sign, you can write the x is an element of the real number. So is it given hx equals to that one? Okay, this one is a bit hard as well if you do not understand. X is less than k. Okay, the important tips over here is like less or equals. So because just now I say the graph is look like this. 6x power 4 plus 5. They touch a 5 here. Okay, so now in order to make the inverse exist, right? So I can only take like this u, right? I can only take part of it. If I take the whole thing, the inverse doesn't exist because like what I say is many to one. So in order to have one to one, I can only take either this part or the other part, or this part. I can only take one of it, but I cannot take all together, because all together you shouldn't have the inverse. So, but because of the sign less than, so therefore I have no choice to only take the yellow side, the yellow color, because less than, right? So imagine you say, what if you take the positive side of x? So we assume, let's say you take here, x equals to 2. This is x equals to 2, right? This line is x equals to 2. So I say x is less or equals to 2. But then your graph will look like this, isn't it? Because you take x equals to 2. And then you will realize the bottom part there, this part over here actually is many to 1. Because this part over here, if you draw any horizontal line here, you will get 2x value. You will get more than 1x value. So if I draw a horizontal line here, you can see I will get 2 different x value, right? x1 and x2. So this one will make the inverse doesn't exist because you get more than 1x value. So therefore, in order to make inverse exist, I need to start taking from the 0 here. Yeah, I can take the 0, I can take the -1, I can take the -2, I can take the -3, and so on. As long as from -1 backwards, then the function should be 1 to 1. But over here, they want the greatest. So therefore, k is equals to 0. Yeah, so from here, the yellow color here, you can see the greatest is 0, right? So if 0, then I can take the whole yellow color. I can take the whole yellow color over here. Of course, you can say k can be -1, -2, and -3. This is true, but then it is not greatest. So in this case, greatest is 0. Yeah, this 1 mark question will take a lot of understanding. But yeah, this is how it is. So yeah, so therefore I say it's quite hard for the 1 mark question. But I hope you can understand. So for this value of k and find the inverse, so yeah, I need to find the inverse. So I will say y equals to 6x power 4 plus 5. So y minus 5 over 6 and 4th root, I should equals to x. So therefore, my h inverse x should equals to the 4th root of x minus 5 over 6. Alright, this is inverse function. I'm not going to teach you about inverse function. I hope you can understand that. So many to 1 or 1 to many. Okay, first thing is, for 1 to many is not even considered as a function. Okay, never mind. Just let me revise a little bit. Actually, I do not want to waste time here, but just a quick revise here. When function, you basically have 2 types. You either is many to 1 or 1 to 1. These 2 types is considered function. Many to 1, that means you can have many x value, x1, x2, x3 go into only one y value. 1 to 1, that means one x value go into one y value. It's quite straightforward. If in the graph here, it's a straight line graph here, you can see one x value is only lead to one y value, isn't it? So this one is considered 1 to 1. Like many to 1 is like U shape is or N shape is can also. So you can see one y value, y1 can lead to 2 different x value, x1, x2. So you can see many x value go into one y value, we call many to 1. Alright, but for inverse, they can only take 1 to 1. Only 1 to 1 can go to inverse, many to 1 cannot. So therefore, we still have something like not a function. Not a function over here. 1 to many is considered not the function, and many to many definitely is not the function. Right, so therefore, function only have 2 types, many to 1 and 1 to 1. For inverse function can only be 1 to 1. Alright, so I hope you can understand. Yep. Okay, so the function p is defined blah 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 for all the real values. For all the real value of x, state the range of p. So okay, this one is quite hard if you don't understand the E graph at all, but if you understand, it's not that bad. So okay, for E graph, we know its pattern is look like this. It's plus 2. Okay, I do something like 3ex first. Yeah, the graph will be like this. So if this one is fx equals to 3ex, so I can say f must be bigger than 0. So if you have plus 2 means what? Plus 2 means this E graph going to move up 2 units. So therefore, my E graph is still look the same, but plus 2, that means I have one dotted line. This line I can never touch, and this line should be 2 here. Oops. No, my drawing is wrong. So I should have one line I cannot touch. This line is 2 here. So therefore, my P must be bigger than 2. Alright, and you might ask, how do I know it is 2? Yeah, you might not know, right? So I always tell my student is like, yeah, you're trying to think what value you substitute for P in order to make it math error. In order to make it math error, so first idea you must know E for EX must always bigger than 0. EX cannot equal 0 because EX equal 0 is undefined, and EX cannot less than 0 is undefined. So therefore, if I substitute 2 into the PX, see what happened here? So 2 minus 2, I get 0. Just now I said EX cannot equal 0, right? So EX equals 0. How are you going to solve it? You add the ln for both sides, and then you type your calculator. Ln 0 basically give you math error. If ln 0 give you math error, that means that's not possible. So therefore, the line can never touch 2, because if touch 2, you will get math error. So yeah, this one basically is just 1 mark, but it tests how much you understand about E graph. Yep, so this is what it is. So therefore, and something you need to understand quite well is the y-intercept, it will be 5 over here, because you will need to use it in the part 2. So on the exit below, sketch the graph for it. So basically I need to make sure I have the 2 here. 2 here, and then this is inverse, so I should have another 2 here. Yeah, 2 should touch at the same position here. Yeah, because y equals to x, that means 2 is on the line y equals to x. Alright, so then I will draw my graph over here. The graph will look like this. And then the reflection graph should look like this. Alright, so, and then they will touch at 5 here, they will touch at 5 here. How do I know the 5? Because the equation 3ex plus 2, right? At the y-intercept, x equals to 0 at the y-intercept. So x equals 0, e0 equals to 1, so 3 plus 2, so this is the reason why I get 5. And then for ex graph and ln x graph, so basically they will never intersect. So they can never intersect at the line y equals to x. So this is something you will need to remember. And yeah, this is another hard question here. Hence explain why the px and p inverse have no solution. So you can say because because they are not intersect. Yeah, this is the easiest way of doing this, because from the graph they are not intersect, or you can say because they are never intersect each other. Okay, because they can never intersect, or you can say because they can never intersect. Alright, so yep. If you want to know further, you ask me why they are not intersect. Then we basically, yeah, okay, they are not intersecting. Yeah, you can, yep. Of course, I must follow is ing. Yep. So, okay, you want to know why, then we need to go to something quite deep if you want to know why. Okay. Okay, what I can show you, what I can teach you, I try to use a simple way to explain something quite challenging. Okay, we have the equation for px. Px is equals to 3ex plus 2. Alright, so if they intersect, they must make something like both of them must touch over here. That means the px will equals to the p inverse x, right? So that means if they touch over here, the y actually can same with the x, right? So therefore, I can make my px become the x here. Because my px is y, right? The intercept, the touch at the line y equals to x. My px is y, so y equals to x, so I can substitute x into my px as well, because the intercept at the y equals to x line. So 3ex plus 2. Alright, now you will need to think something like this. For ex, first thing, ex cannot be negative. Ex can be 0 point very small 0, but it cannot equal to 0. There's no way ex equals 0, so ex must equals bigger than must always bigger than 0. So over here, you can try the x value. So if I try x equals 0, so the other side actually will get 3e0 plus 2. So they are not equal. 5 is not equal to 0. So I in order to make that intercept, I must find a way to make both of them equal, right? And you might think, how about you insert any smaller value? You can try something like 0.005. I say the ex can close to 0. So I assume if even you do that, so this area will change to 0.005. And then here definitely is 3 plus 2 already. So no matter how it's bigger than 5, it's bigger than 5. So therefore they will never equal each other. And you might think, how about you make the e value bigger? You put a 5 here, and here you change 5. But e is an exponent. Exponent means what? Exponent means actually the value will increase very fast. So e power of 5 is definitely a lot bigger than 5. So therefore, no matter how you're going to try to sub the x value into here, you can never get the same x value. Definitely that equation you cannot be solved for, cannot be solved also. Yeah, so therefore they will never intersect each other. But for this 1 mark, you just say they do not intersect. Yeah, make your life easier. And I still have 2 more questions to go. Yep. Let's go to number 10. Yeah, for those students who actually worry about relative velocity, I have so many relative velocity videos, so you can always go to my YouTube channel and type relative velocity. You should be able to get about 7 or 8 relative velocity video. So yeah, you can check it out. Alright, this diagram actually shows the curve and the straight line. The curve and line intersect at the point A and B, and BC and AD is perpendicular to the x-axis. So it's parallel to y-axis. Use the substitution u2 equals to x or otherwise to find the coordinate A and B, and must show all working. So it's intersection here. So basically I will sub the y into the y here. This one y equals to 3 plus 3x. So 3 plus 3x equals to 1 plus x plus 5 square root x. Yeah, I should be able to see this is quadratic. So, but if you can't see, maybe you will substitute the u square. But for me, I guess should be fine. So this is 2x after minus. So and then I will get minus 5 square root x, and then plus 2 equals to 0. Alright, I simplify, and I know x, I can call the x become square root x squared, isn't it? Because square root x squared actually will give me the x. Minus 5 square root x plus 2 equals 0. Then I will factorize it. So this is 2 square root x, this is square root x, and then this is 2 and 1, minus for both. So square root x equals to 1 over 2, and then square root x equals to 2. So therefore x equals to 1 over 4, and x equals to 4. But since the question asks about coordinate, we must find the y value as well. So I will find the y value as well over here. So y will equals to 3 plus 3 over 4. So y is basically 12, 15 over 4. So therefore I already found my coordinate A. My coordinate A is 1 over 4 and 15 over 4. Alright, so then I will do the same thing for B. 3 plus 12. Y equals to 15. So my coordinate D, is it coordinate D? Coordinate B, sorry. Coordinate B should be 4 and 15. Right, it's quite straightforward. isn't that incorrect? Okay, so for some students like cannot understand like my factorization, so I will recommend you use the substitution u square equals to x. So if u square equals to x here, you can see here, it become 2u square minus 5 square root u square plus 2 equals to 0. Alright, so over here, you should be able to do 2u square root and square I cancel, minus 5u plus 2 equals to 0. Then you factorize this thing. 2u, u, 2, 1 minus for both. So u equals to half and u equals to 2. And what is your u? U is basically, because u square is equals to x, so u is basically equals to square root x, right? Then you sub back, you will, at the end you should be able to get the same result with me. Yeah, but this factorization is kind of complicated. Okay, but at least I know this is 1 over 4 and this is 4. Alright, so yeah, so I done already, 6 mark. And the next thing is find the area of the shaded region and show all your working. So I want to find the shaded region here. Because both of these have the intersection point. The easiest way I will always do is I will just integrate. The area is basically integrate from 1 over 4 to 4 because they have the same intersection point. And then I'll use the upper equation minus the lower equation. So upper equation is 1 plus x plus 5 sub x. And then the bottom of it, this equation is minus, so minus them, so minus 3 minus 3x. Okay, so dx. So I will straight away do like this without doing the trapezium things and blah blah blah. Of course, you can use a curve area minus the trapezium. You can always do that. You will still get the same result. Alright, so but I prefer this because I find it faster. So this is 1 minus 2x and oops, sorry. This is 5 square root x minus 2 minus 2x. Alright, so square root x, I prefer write it into the x power half because I want to do the integration here. So yeah, I have lack of space here, so I just try my best. So this is 5x plus 1 is 3 over 2 over 3 over 2. So 2 I will multiply here. Minus 2x minus 2x squared over 2, right? So become x squared. So it's 1 over 4 to 4. Alright, then the next thing you do is you substitute the 4 into all the x answer here, minus you substitute 1 over 4 into all the x answer, and then you will get the final answer here. Alright, I'm not going to do the simple calculation because yeah, this is how you will do it. Alright, so I will skip this question. Alright, finally we go to the last question here. Yeah, this integration you can't do straight away because it looks very complicated, but you just need to simplify them. This is power of 8 plus x squared over x power 6 over x power 6. Alright, so I simplified them. This one will give me x squared plus 1 over x4 dx. Alright, so if you still do not able to do this, you better change this one to -4. Alright, then I will start doing here. This is x cubed over 3 plus f -3 over -3 plus c. Alright, but I prefer to rewrite it because I don't like this pattern. So I will just do 1 over 3x cubed plus c. Alright, so this is how I will do this kind of question. So I hope you can understand. Alright, so integrate this one. So integrate cos will give me positive sign. Angle will always remain the same. And then I need to differentiate inside the brackets. So I will give it will give me it will divide 4 here plus c. Yeah, quite simple. Then hence evaluate. So yeah, so therefore I have sine 4 theta minus 5. The 4 I will just take it out, become 1 over 4. So 1.25 to 2. Then yeah, I will do some substitution. This is sine. Obviously you should know this one is a radian because you don't see any degree sign here, so it is automatically it's the radian. So therefore I have 8, so I have sine 3 minus 1.25 times 4 is equals to what? My brain just can't function. 5, yup. So 5 minus 5 is 0. Okay, so it's just sine 3 divided by 4. Change your calculator to radian. So then sine 3 divided by 4, you should get 0.0353. Alright, so this is how we do it. Yup, we have finished everything. Alright, so yeah, why is radian? Because you see the angle over here. If degree in IGCSE, they compulsory they will write the degree sign here. If you see these two don't have the degree sign here, then it is radian. Alright, then it is radian. Yeah, I will not teach the relative velocity here because relative velocity is not something I can spend like half an hour to make you understand it. So you please go to check out my relative velocity video. Even I half an hour, I do my very best. You might still not understand because it is something not that easy to understand. So, but I make quite a lot of video to explain on how to do relative velocity. Yup. So can you do 2017? Yeah, what is that question 9? I mean, what question is that? Yeah, if relative velocity already come out in paper 1, I don't think the paper 2 they will come out. Yeah, where can I find this paper? Yeah, you can go to the Papa Cambridge, or you can go to, yeah, some student actually send me the link called what? examsnet.io, something like that. Yeah, you can go search from there, should be able to get it. Yeah, if anyone have the link to find the video, yeah, please go check it out. Yeah, so all the best for whoever having the exam tomorrow. And yeah, for those that so worried about relative velocity, you can go check it out. I have quite a lot of IGCSE video, so go check it out. It should be quite helpful for you. Yeah, all the best for your exam tomorrow. I wish you good luck and rest early and just do your best. Okay, so sleep more and eat vitamin C. I always ask my students to eat vitamin C because it's very useful. Alright, so I'm going to off the live streaming, so I hope